Yeah, that. I mean, I knew Rooks Rest was coming, but they changed it from the books a bit. But I don't hate it. Like the whole thing with Rhaenys, like she was ambushed by Vhagar and Sunfire.
Yeah. But of course, in the show, we get a drunken king, drinking and
And
dragoning.
yeah, you don't drink and dragon.
So welcome back to Throne Zone for confusing myself, season 4 of Throne Zone, season 2 of House of the Dragon. Last time we left you after our recap of the first 2 episodes. Now we're recapping episodes 3 and 4, which were very different. Episode 3 was very much narrative driven. Episode 4 was building up, but then of course it was all out action in the second half of the episode. So episode 3, I said was a little slow pace. It focused largely on Daemon basically being haunted at Harrenhall, which a lot of people have said that subplot, I know it's actually from the books, but is kind of slowing the series down a little bit.
Well, I think it served its purpose. For people that don't really think, oh, this is the first time we saw Harrenhal. No, we saw it back in Game of Thrones where Tywin Lannister was. That was, and you keep hearing about the curse of Harrenhal. Just to give a point of reference for folks, it goes back to the time of conquest with Aegon the Conqueror, where Harren the Black kind of took over, or that was his home, and Aegon told him, "Hey, bend the knee. I'm here. I'm taking over." And that's how it's going to be. And Harren basically said no, and he went back in his home. Aegon took Balerion and melted Harrenhal. Cooked Harren the Black and his family alive. Basically turned Harrenhal into an oven.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to see that scene brought to life. We may get it if they do actually make Aegon's Conquest into a series. Mainly, I just want to see Balerion because he was huge. And we've only seen the skull, obviously, in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Yeah, we did see Harrenhal in Game of Thrones, but this was like 200 years after House of the Dragon or so, and yeah, it was still beaten down. It was still a shell of a castle, but it seemed almost more normal while Tywin was there. There was more people occupying it. Whereas in House of the Dragon, it's very much still a crypt, I guess you could say. Like when Aemond literally walked in and claimed the place. No fight whatsoever. And there wasn't even any dispute when he just said, "I'm claiming Harrenhal."
He looked like he wanted to fight.
He went there looking for a fight. He was prepared for a fight. Full armor, sword drawn, and just no competition.
And the guy just bends the knee. Daemon thinking, well, shit, what do I do now?
I came here for blood.
Instead, he gets to see his niece wife.
Yeah. A very nice surprise to see Millie Alcock return. I always said when we reviewed the first season, she did a great job as young Rhaenyra. And it's a shame, really, that we had to age up so quickly because I think she could have done a lot more, as well as Emily Carey, who played young Alicent. But yeah, Aemond walks in, Simon Strong gives no fight, and even he says, "Look, this castle's a shithole."
Basically saying, why do you want this?
Yeah, you can take it. It's leaking, it's constantly raining, it's dark, it's miserable, it's damp. Take it, whatever.
And like Daemon kind of brings up Larys Strong, and he basically says, I I don't claim that nephew. I don't claim that asshole. You know, we know what he did here.
Yeah, nobody likes Larys, not even his own family.
Not even Alicent likes him anymore.
No. Thankfully, we haven't seen any of Alicent's OnlyFans this season for Larys.
We looks like we were going to, but thank God it didn't go there.
We almost did.
I guess he didn't have his dragon credit card.
Hey, man! Now he got a promotion.
He's got the big bucks now.
He's got the job that Varys eventually gets in Game of Thrones, which is Master of Whispers. Aegon said to him, "My father never needed one. I think I do." So there you go, instant promotion. Basically because you put your finger in a lot of pies.
Yeah.
Good way to get a promotion, Larys.
Oh yeah. and honestly, the thing of it is, and this is the problem with Aegon, is he's not listening to his advisors, you know, and they don't take him seriously. It's painfully obvious with Criston Cole and his brother Aemond. Neither one of them takes him seriously.
No, if anything, actually, the wisest choice he made was bringing Larys on as his Master of Whispers, because, you know, Larys, again, also isn't taken seriously because he's a cripple and everything, but he's actually very, very wise. And he's, like I said, he's got his fingers in a lot of pies. He knows everything that's going on. He's a very good ally to have on your side.
Oh, yeah. He's the kind of guy where even if you don't trust him, you would rather have him close to you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he burnt his own family.
Yeah, for no reason.
He's a little bit of a psychopath, just like Aegon.
Hey, it's the green Targaryen way.
It is. So yeah, we mentioned Criston. Seems to have pissed off Alicent. She brings in her brother to basically keep an eye on him. And for a moment, we think Egwene's going to keep him in line. But as soon as we get a taste of conflict, Egwene is a bit of a wimp.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Criston slips into this role of actually, you know, taking the reins and not taking any shit. So they're out in the field, and somehow Criston just feels that there's something wrong, where he wants to take cover. Egwene wants to keep on going because it's daylight. All of a sudden, in comes big ass dragon.
Yeah. I think that was Baela and Moondancer, I think.
Yeah. And we saw a glimpse of Baela's father in her. She kept her word. She didn't engage in conflict, but she did get pretty damn close.
She wanted to.
I think she was so close to saying that one word that we all love a dragon rider saying.
We want him to say it.
And everybody has their own kind of delivery of it too. Except, of course, for Rhaenys. She never said it, but we'll get to that in a sec. So Criston does manage to take cover in the woods. They manage to hide from Moondancer. Baela goes back and reports to Queen and Council. Look, Criston Cole's on the move. We need to move and basically engage. They worked out pretty quickly what Criston was doing.
Oh yeah, you know they knew what he was doing. They marched to Rooks Rest, which people thought, oh well, it's a shithole castle. Why? It makes no sense.
Yeah, it may not look like much, but it is strategically something to gain. Yeah. As they pointed out in their strategies and their war room, if Criston Cole's plan works, they will landlock Dragonstone.
And we had the scene in episode 3 where somehow Rhaenyra entered King's Landing. Nobody noticed her.
I mean, yeah, they didn't have Instagram in Westeros, so she managed to disguise herself very well.
Yeah.
I think obviously that was the big scene in episode 3 when Rhaenyra sneaks into King's Landing as a nun to confront Alicent. Very much an espionage job.
And then, of course, we see in the beginning of episode 4, everyone's wondering where the hell she is because she didn't tell anybody. Her own son gives her some backsass.
Yeah, he's getting his back up a little bit.
It's like, dude, that's your mother? Watch
and
it.
Queen.
Yeah, it's your mom and your queen, so you ain't the king yet, boy.
But it was a good scene between Alicent and Rhaenyra. It's the first time, obviously, we've seen them together since kind of midway through the first season. And that's where Alicent finally realizes she's fucked up. But it's too late to do anything about it.
You think of that meme, and it was at that moment she knew. Fucked up.
It was almost like a drunken conversation where you find something out. It's like, he was talking about Aegon. Wait, he meant Aegon the Conqueror. Oh, so not my Aegon.
And then she basically tells Rhaenyra, "Hey, it's too. I can't do anything. Like, he cut me off. My dad's not in charge anymore. We have no say over what he does."
No. And I'm really kind of mad at Aegon still for firing Otto because we haven't seen him for 2 episodes now. The great Rhys Evans in that role. Again, I haven't read the book, so I don't know what role he plays further on. If he does come back, I mean, I hope so.
He should. He should.
So yeah, episode 4 again kind of picked up where episode 3 left off. It was almost like a double bill, and then of course it builds up to that huge fight at the end, with a sneaky Aemond, a tenacious Rhaenys, and a drunken Aegon.
Folks, don't drink in Dragon.
I think this episode 4 belonged to Rhaenys. She was fantastic in that episode. She went out on her sword, well, on a dragon. She had 2 opportunities to fly away, and instead she just went straight into battle.
Yeah, and I think in the episode you have this scene where they know they have to send a dragon, and it's, first she's gonna send Baela on Moondancer, then Jacaerys on Arax. Vermax.
Yeah.
Yes, Vermax. But neither one of them had, seen war. And Rhaenys is like, I'll go. My dragon's the only one that's seen battle, so let me do it. And I think she knew it was a fool's errand. Like, I think she knew that, like, hey, whoever goes probably isn't coming back.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it did have to be Rhaenys because she is the only battle-hardened veteran.
Yeah. I mean, and she and Meleys basically took out Sundancer.
Oh yeah, she split that chest wide open.
She ripped that thing apart.
Yeah, but again, like Sunfire is also no experience in combat, and unfortunately, her rider was drunk and decided to take her into battle.
And you have that scene where you see Aemond and Vhagar on the ground waiting. Vhagar is chomping at the bit, basically saying, "Come on, let me go. Let me do what I want to do." And Aemond's like, no. Basically, watching his brother, the king, getting his ass kicked. And he's like, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how this plays out.
Yeah, Vhagar is vicious. A vicious, angry old dragon. And Vhagar has now taken out 2 of Rhaenyra's. Well, I mean they're all family, but Rhaenyra's allies
And her dragons.
and 2 dragons. Yeah. Um, and of course Vhagar once was Rhaenys' daughter's. Which one was her name?
Lena.
Lena's dragon.
Which is kind of ironic when you think about it.
Ironic, twisted,
Sad.
and sad. Yeah, but again, a hero's death. But I have to wonder what Aemon's plan was, because they didn't expect Aegon to turn up. Kristen and Aemon's plan was to ambush whoever turned up on a dragon. They didn't expect Aegon to fly in and fuck things up.
No.
But of course, Aemond took action and deliberately attacked both other dragons, which included his brother and his dragon.
I think it's obvious at this point, Aemond wants the throne.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was this scene, I think it was the episode, the Green Council last season, where they're trying to find him. And, Aemond finds surprise, a drunken Aegon. And he basically says, they're making you king. Let's go. Back home, we got to get you ready. And Aegon basically says, you should be king. You'd be better than me. And Aemond says, you will have no quarrels from me. Basically saying, yeah, I know.
Well, you said it.
And I think ever since then, he wants that throne. Because he's even said, I'm better with the sword. I'm more learned than him. Like, it should be me.
Yeah. Aemond's also, I think, more vicious.
Oh, yeah.
And as we saw in the first season, he kind of looks up to Daemon.
He's basically Daemon on the other side.
Yeah. Just with one eye.
Yeah. And a bigger dragon.
A huge dragon. That dragon is a pain in the ass for everybody right now. And speaking of pains in the ass, Kristen Cole surprised me in this episode, because not for 1 second did he act cowardly or, as we've seen so far this season, a sneaky little bastard.
No.
He took everything head on. He stopped Aemond from possibly finishing off Aegon after he fell.
Or he's thinking, did he kill him?
Yeah, I mean, the ending is very open. They didn't actually reveal whether Aegon survived or not. I mean, from what I've read, I don't see him being dead. But
no, I think of that scene in the first Austin Powers where he says, "I'm not dead. I'm only very badly burned."
Yes, very much. I think he's going to have the nickname Aegon the Burnt instead of the Magnanimous going forward.
Yeah, I still don't think he knows what magnanimous means.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the ring to it, as Aegon the Conqueror.
No. I mean, he can't call himself Aegon the Usurper.
Yeah.
Even though he kind of did.
You mentioned Aegon, well, the scene with Aegon and his dragon, and the scene with Rhaenys and her dragon, and very different. Aegon and Sunfire are playful. Rhaenys and Meleys are both kind of, well, shit, here we go again.
Yeah. I think she knew, because there is that moment where you can tell she's thinking, okay, I should get out of here. And then she kind of looks back, and I think she realizes, like, I gotta try and end this here.
Yeah.
Because if they lose Vhagar, that's it. Like, it's nuclear warfare with dragons, and Vhagar is their biggest weapon.
Yeah. To be fair, like, Meleys did do some damage to Vhagar. And
oh, yeah. got a couple good hits in.
She may even have got the best of her if Aemond and Vhagar weren't so sneaky. Because there was that moment where Vhagar disappeared and then just shot from nowhere.
Again.
Which, for such a big, heavy dragon, seems to be signature move.
Like, you think it with dragon asses, you'd hear it coming along.
I mean, you'd think you'd see her, where when she was laying in wait with Aemond, and then of course Aegon flies in, you'd think you'd see a dragon of that size, particularly because she would have crushed the trees going down, but nope. Somehow managed to blend into the trees.
Yeah.
One thing we did gloss over, which happened at the start of the episode, was Rhaenys met Alan, who obviously pulled Corlys out of the water. And they didn't spell it out for us, but she obviously recognized him in some way, and it was like she knew that he's actually Corlys' son.
Yeah, Alan and you didn't see Alan's brother Adam, but they are the bastard sons of Corlys Velaryon.
Yeah, and somehow Rhaenys managed to work it out. Whether she just thought, well, you look like him.
But she basically tells Corlys, like, hey, I know about them.
Yeah. But, she didn't seem angry about it. It was almost like, well, step up.
Be their father. And he's basically like, hey,
I'm having fun just sailing around.
Yeah, I'm just doing my thing. What do you want me to do?
I mean, I'm sure we're going to see more from Corlys now. Maybe avenging Rhaenys. So I said in the first episode that we did that HBO weren't doing the next episode previews anymore, but they obviously have started doing it again now. So we've seen a preview of the next episode, and the scene that sticks out to me is Melis's head being dragged through King's Landing.
Yeah. So they've got their trophy.
Yeah. Fortunately, we didn't actually see Rhaenys' body, but there's no denying she got crushed.
There's no way she didn't. There's no way she survived that. Like, even if the dragon landed, face down, just the sheer force of that fall would have killed her.
Yeah. But you could see she was ready for it. There was that final look between her and Melis, almost a goodbye.
And saying, I'm sorry, I failed you. Looking back at Rhaenys and basically Melis saying, hey, I tried. I'm sorry, but I failed you.
Vhagar's just too fucking big. But Rhaenys accepted her fate.
That was sad.
Yeah. I really, really liked Rhaenys.
Oh, Eve Best should get an Emmy for that episode.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, that episode was all her.
Yeah, because I think she knew. Rhaenys knew. She's like, hey, whoever's going, because she knew it was probably a trap.
Yeah.
And I think Aemond knew. I think when Aemond saw Sunfire show up, he's like, huh, I can take him out too, take the throne. But does he really think that people are gonna follow him? The lords aren't gonna follow Aemond. I think the people that did follow him would have been like, yeah, we don't want him.
Don't trust him.
Him and his giant dragon.
This is very much like sort of season 7 for Daenerys, where she comes in with a strong position. At the end of season 6, the fleet's coming for King's Landing, and Daenerys looks strong as hell, and then everything just hits the fan right from the get-go, and her whole invasion goes to shit. And it's almost going that way for Rhaenyra. She's lost a son, She's lost Rhaenys. She's lost 2 dragons. Half of King's Landing have turned against her because Jaehaerys was killed.
Thank you, Daemon.
Thank you, Daemon, who is currently still in a haunted hotel, Harrenhall.
Which, we got that scene with Millie Alcock, which was great. Can we please get a vision where he sees Viserys?
And can we nominate Paddy Considine this time, because he acted his ass off in season 1 and got nothing for it.
No. Can we just get him with, even if it's just one word, like just put him in the scene, put him in the show. And I'm sure Paddy would do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm still convinced that Peter Dinklage's one scene demanding a trial by combat is what earned him an Emmy. So if Paddy Considine can come back for one scene, that should be enough.
Yeah, just give it to him. Just don't even nominate him. Just give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, you should have done that last year. So spoiler free, what can we expect now that we're like halfway through the season?
So obviously, now that Rhaenys has died, it kind of throws the Blacks into turmoil. Corlys and Rhaenyra are not going to be seeing eye to eye for a bit. Corlys is obviously going to be very pissed because he lost his wife, and I think he's going to feel guilt over the whole issue, because the last time we saw them, they were arguing. And so there's going to be that, and also there's going to be more issues where, hey, now that they're down 2 dragons, they don't have that many. They don't have as many.
No.
But so what do they do now?
I mean, we did see in season 1, Daemon was looking to almost tame the wild dragons, which we haven't really seen
Vermithor, yet. Vermithor is the biggest dragon next to Vhagar.
Yeah, and we haven't seen him since that one scene.
So we'll see. It's that's going to come into play.
Just Daemon needs to sort his shit out first.
And answer your ravens, dude. Don't leave Dragonstone on red.
It's such a negative for Rhaenyra that Daemon is off doing his own thing, because he probably would have been a strong component if he was to fight in the Battle of Rooks Rest.
Honestly, it should have been Daemon and Rhaenys, because honestly, the two of them easily could have taken out Vhagar. Easily.
Yeah, and obviously Sunfire didn't stand a chance.
No, because, even I think Sunfire's like, dude, my rider's a moron. He's drunk. He doesn't know what he's doing.
And I've never fought before. What the fuck are you doing?
Okay, what do I do?
Poor Sunfire. I think Sunfire was the biggest victim in all of this. Completely unprepared. And it's all Aegon's fault.
Yeah. Everybody hates Aegon.
Aegon's just been itching for a fight for the whole season so far. And it's because nobody believes in him.
Hey, his mother tried to convince him.
Oh yeah, he didn't listen to Mother either.
But hey, she lost control.
Yeah, I mean, it is a shame, because even Cersei for a short time had somewhat control over Joffrey before he just went off the handle.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah, and Aegon's already reached that.
Quickly.
So, we finally got some dragon on dragon action. We've got, I think, 4 episodes left. I think they're only doing 8 this season.
Yeah.
So hopefully more action to come, and hopefully we don't have to wait as long for season 3.
They're in the writers' room now. They're meeting. So George Martin confirmed that they're writing it out now. So hopefully, we can't wait 2 years. Like, you saw how Jacaerys aged, the actor that plays him. Like, let's have this done before he ends up looking like Daemon.
Yeah. All right, so there is a preview out there. I've already mentioned one spoiler if you haven't seen the trailer for the next episode, but like I always say, the internet is dark and full of spoilers. And we will see you very soon for the next couple of episodes of House of the Dragon.
It will not be easy. The path I walk has never been trod. We will need dragons like Verminthor to win this war.
There is more than one way to fight a war.
Behold, the traitor dragon Melee, slain by King Aegon!
We cannot challenge King's Landing without the Riverlands.
The realm will soon tear itself apart. If men do not remember the oath sworn to King Viserys and to his rightful heir.
I feel what I've begun.
Our terms are simple. Bend the knee to me, or your house burns.
We must break the will of our enemy.